Hello, brothers. My name is William, and I'm really happy to be able to sit with you this morning. Last night, when Jim and Richard were talking, there's a point in their conversation where they were talking about nature and the healing power of nature. And I don't know if you remember how excited Richard got when he was speaking about it, about knowing that when we walk, when we're able to get into nature, they are unconditional in their support for us. Nature points to our wounds, but then also gives us ways of healing them. If you've done wilderness walks before, you know that there's all sorts of allies and beings out there that are ready to be with us and support us. And yet in these times with COVID and the fires and having to sit in front of a screen all day, for some of us who work from home, we miss that opportunity to get out, where there's even some anxiety in my community to even go out into nature. What will happen if I run across another human being? And so we've started to withdraw from nature, and we have this idea that nature is out there, that I have to go out there to get nature. And yet, some people would say that one of the most marvelous manifestations of nature is right here in the human body. And it's always here, even when we're sitting in front of a screen 9-10 hours a day. The human body is nature. It is the full manifestation of nature in the human being. And so as I was thinking about this first sit for the retreat and thinking about what we're going to be doing for these next 2.5 days now, sitting in front of the screen and staying seated most of the time, although we get to wander some, what would be helpful? And so there's a practice that I'll bring to you today called body awareness practice. And it's to bring our awareness into our body as if it were nature, like we're going to take a walk through our body and notice through our awareness of our body what it's trying to tell us. Often we're sitting at a screen, if we're sitting at a screen, especially, we forget about that. We're working from here up. We're seeing, we're hearing, and we're speaking. And the rest of the body kind of lacks, checks out. And so as a result of that, I know that some of my friends, and me included, the body starts losing its will to get up and move, to exercise. And so we have an opportunity while we're sitting and working on screen or isolating to become more aware of our body and listen to the messages that it has for us. It carries our wounds from early childhood, from some of the Eastern perspectives, from karmic lives. It carries our gifts. Rudolf Steiner, who was a philosopher, poet, artist in the turn of the 19th to 20th century, speaks of the limbs as the human being, how the human being manifests the spirit in the world. And you'll just take a minute or so and just think about that. How do the limbs manifest the spirit? Of course. They caress, they cradle, they create, they paint, they dance, they touch the earth, they labor. And so our meditation today will focus on the limbs, on the manifestation of the spirit in the human body. And it'll also focus on the belly, a place that in some traditions is called the Kath, K-A-T-H, or the Hara. And right now, if you'll work with me a little bit, we'll palpate it. If you place your 3 fingers next to each other, right below the navel, and then beneath that 3rd finger, about 2 digits in towards the spine. So there's this deep center place that I'll refer to as the Kath. So when I talk about that during the practice, you can palpate it and sense into it. So the first thing in the practice always is to find your seat. And at this point, I would invite you to turn away from the screen, either move the screen or find another place to sit in your room where you don't have to look at the screen. You can either look straight ahead or close your eyes, but the screen isn't there in front of you. But you can hear me, because it will be a guided meditation. So take a few minutes to do that. Find your seat. And when we talk about finding our seat, we're sitting like a mountain, stable and strong on the earth, reaching down deep into the core, drawing the energy of the earth, and then peaking towards the sky. So you can imagine that stability and uplift, giving space for the breath. Another image that comes from one of my teachers, Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, is that we are monarchs on a throne. Last night's reference to a true king. When we sit to meditate, we are like monarchs on a throne. So let those 2 imaginations work with you now as you find your seat. And then begin to bring your attention to your breath. Let your breath breathe you. However it's going. Right now mine is fluttering a bit, being a little nervous. And just let it do what it's doing. And thoughts might come in, and emotions and brilliant ideas or cosmic thoughts. Let them flow by you as if you were this mountain and there were 2 rivers running around you. Let those thoughts and emotions just come through. Don't need to do anything to them, no matter how important or beautiful or how scary or unimportant they are. Just let them flow by. And now begin to palpate that Kath, the Hara, again. And let your breath bring your awareness into the kath. In breath going deep, deep, deep into the belly. And then moving out from there. This is your ground of being. At any time during the meditation, during your workday, if you're feeling distracted, you can come back to the kath with your breath. Now begin to stoke a fire there, as if it's a cauldron. Cauldron filled with warm golden honey. This light of awareness. And let that cauldron fill with this awareness, this sensing of your being. And now gradually begin to pour that warm golden honey down your right leg and into your foot, so that it fills your foot from the sole through the arch, in between the toes, this bringing your awareness, your sensing into your foot. Sense the toughness of the calluses and the tenderness between the toes, the space between the bones, the air or the sock on the skin. As if the awareness is alive, a being that's curious, interested. Sense into your foot. And then gradually fill up your foot with this golden, warm honey of awareness. You might notice space, you might notice contractions. Just notice them. And then at your own pace, over the next 3 minutes or so, begin to fill up this right leg, starting with your foot and ankle, moving up the leg through the knee into the hip, with this sensing into the leg. And as you move up, you are maintaining the awareness of where you've been. So this awareness expands until it includes the whole right leg from sole of foot to the hip. Using your breath to guide your awareness. Letting everything be as it is. Curious, interested, like a child in the forest. Now, gradually bring your awareness to the palm of your right hand. And with this same pouring of this warm honey of awareness, begin to sense into the right hand, beginning with the palm and working your way through. All the while maintaining your awareness of the right leg from foot to hip, expanding to include the right arm from palm to shoulder. For the next 3 or 4 minutes. And now shifting the awareness over to the left, beginning with the shoulder, gently into, let the awareness drip down from the shoulder to the left palm, filling every crevice and gap, every solid bone, every space, every contraction. Maintaining the awareness of the right leg and arm as you do that. And in the same way, while maintaining awareness of where you've been, begin to bring the sensing into the left hip, and all the way down to the sole of the left foot. Filling your limbs with this resonating, warm, golden awareness. Allowing your limbs to be fully what they are. And now, brothers, ever so gently, maintaining this awareness, this sensing into your limbs. Begin to sense into your hearing, as if your ears, your hearing had limbs themselves reaching out into the space around you, reaching into the internal space. Sensing into the limbs, sensing into our hearing. And even more carefully and gently, begin to bring awareness into your seeing, fluttering your eyes open carefully if they were closed, or just coming into focus, reaching out, reaching in. Full sensing in limbs, hearing, and seeing. And take some time, look around the room. Notice. If I had a bell, I'd ring it right now. Come back, and as you go through the day, as you go through your work life and regular life, know that nature is here. Know that spirit is here expressing itself in your limbs, guiding, teaching, holding, caressing, protecting. I give my deepest gratitude to my teacher, A.H. Almas, who brought this teaching to me. And my deepest gratitude to you for joining me and helping me in this work. May there be warmth all around you.